What's up, guys? Another week of training here. This is actually the heaviest week of the quote unquote preparation for the competition. And this was 390 for one, and then I proceeded to do 325 for for five singles. Excuse me. And this is my friend here, Richard Cho, or aka Ricky's right now number two strongest Korean on the planet. I say number two because we have Matthew Aramoni at 66 kilo, deadlifting 300 kilo raw, well, around there. So, anyways, Ricky's a super good guy, and we were actually training at the same time. So he helped me with all the handoffs and whatnot. But this day I feel I was kind of heavy, so the shirt, it was very hard to touch, so it was kind of unusual. And actually, you see my head coming off the bench quite a few times when I was benching. So again, not the best, but I did get it up, get the 325 up five times, and that's a good preparation for the meet. But anyways, I proceeded to do 407 for six and 429 for three sets of four. So again, that is a quote unquote good sign, but who knows what's actually going to happen in the meet, because it's definitely well, I don't like to speak of things that haven't occurred. So hopefully I have some good squats at the meet, and who knows what's going to happen. But naturally, I'm going to open up at 245 kilos and go from there. And also, a strategy I've been using at these past meets where the flights are very small. So, for example, back in September and also the last meet I had, there were only 8 people in the flight, or around there, 8 to 9 people in the flight. So it wasn't really possible for me to do three squats back to back to back, because number one, that's not enough rest period for doing very heavy equip squats, and number two is it's difficult to wrap on those very small flights, because once you sit down, you probably have to wait around 2 minutes and then start wrapping again. Then it's gonna just make you exhausted. So I am going to employ that technique if it happens to be the case at the flights at the competition are very small. But if it's closer to the 12 to 14 range, again, 14 is the maximum for one flight, then I'll probably try to go ahead and do three squats. But if I'm feeling winded or I don't feel it's worth the effort, then I'm only going to do the opener. And thankfully, well, hopefully I get the opener with no questions. Undeniable depth and whatnot, and it passes with the refs. But we'll see what happens. Again, nothing's guaranteed, obviously. So, anyways, did the equipped deadlift. Again, me being heavy, it's kind of making it difficult for me to get some proper form because the suit's so tight. But I did end up with a fairly decent 252.5 kilo, which is 556 pounds, and hopefully it's okay at the meet. But again, I'm doing that right after all that work with the squat and bench. But anyways, next day I did 365 for one, then did some reps with 315, and again 315 after that single, and again worked up to my normal bench 235. And this week I actually only trained 5 days of the week. I guess two of the days I just felt so exhausted. I am still working very late at my job, my day job. So what can you do? But there you saw 525 for eight singles. That was single number eight, and I did some conventional after that, 365 for five, and again here just working up to my normal 235 for one. So actually before this I did 185 for nine, 205 for four, and 225 for a double. So here is actually the one of the last days of training. So 365 and 375 for one, and then I actually just went kind of crazy and did 315 for a set of eight, and then 275 for a set of 10. Again, I like to keep somewhat good volume on the downs, because I just want to make my legs big enough so the suit doesn't slip and slide when I'm at the meet. But anyways, that is again 525 for a single, and then I actually worked to a PR of 405, 408 on sumo, so that was really nice. But anyways, thanks guys for watching, and stay tuned for next week.